Hello, welcome to Thinking Out Loud. My name is Jill Francis, and I wanted to start today by just saying what an amazing time to be alive. I am feeling particularly grateful this morning for the times that we live in and that I'm here to be part of it. I know that it can seem completely crazy out there and that there's so much going on and it can feel chaotic and stressful, but really, I think so much of that is just a distraction and a necessary distraction, for what's really going on. But I think what's really going on is that we are waking up to who we really are. And that's the big news. And as we wake up and realize who we are, we begin to see and feel just how powerful we are. And it's like Janine says, we are very truly magical beings. And I believe that. And I think it's really fun to sort of start owning that and really playing with it and practicing it. And so I wanted to talk today about intuition. And I believe that we are all intuitive beings. And I think that the world we live in has done its very best to make sure you didn't know how intuitive you are and to dismiss any of those feelings. And like I've said before, the more, the world would have you look outside yourself for answers instead of trusting all of that inner knowing and that inner wisdom. And I do believe we are all intuitive. This is not a gift that is just reserved for the very special or the unique, because you are special and you are unique. And so am I. And we all are. And we all have these gifts and abilities within us because it is who we are. So I think about, different experiences I've had throughout my lifetime where so often you have a thought and then you just dismiss it as, the voices in your head, or that's just me thinking thoughts or feelings that you get in the pit of your stomach, good or bad. And we dismiss it. You just dismiss it like, who am I? I don't know what's going on. And we don't even examine it. We just seem to be wired to dismiss those feelings when they come from within us. So I thought that I would share some of the things that I've been doing and experiences that I've had in sort of exercising and sort of owning and honoring my own intuition. And kind of looking back and realizing that, we've had experiences in our lives where our intuition was right. And it doesn't have to just be a one-off, but it can be something that we tap into every day. And so I have three suggestions that have to do with our intuition. And number one is to name it. Number two is trust it. And then number three is follow it. And, at one point I was reading a lot of Sonia Choquette's book, and I think I was in Trust Your Vibes. And she talks about this concept of the fact that we have feelings and thoughts that we dismiss. And one of the things she said was, all those thoughts in your head, that is your intuition. That is your vibe, whatever you're picking up on. And so, and to even, so instead of dismissing it, kind of stepping into it and actually naming it. And I kind of did this myself for a little while. So I just decided, okay, I'm going to just start telling myself and other people, yeah, I am psychic. And that I have psychic abilities. And I mean, and there was different times I had thoughts or feelings, and then certain things happened. So I thought, okay, I'm going to own it. And I don't necessarily, I don't really like buy into the psychic term again, because I think there's negative connotations and I didn't really want to get into that. But I'm going to just focus on sort of being intuitive. But at this time, I was sort of embracing this idea that yes, I am psychic. And what's interesting, I have, my nephew's wife, they had one baby, and I can't explain why. For some reason she was on my mind one day, and I just had this feeling. I thought, I think she's pregnant. And again, came out of nowhere. But because I was in this place of like trying to own my psychic ability, I decided to send a message to my sister, and just say like, is she pregnant? And what was funny was her first response to me after a bit of a delay was her response was, "Are you psychic?" And I kind of laughed and I said, "Yeah, actually I am." And then actually she was pregnant. They hadn't told anybody in the family yet, but for whatever reason, I was picking up on that energy. And that's really what I think that this intuition is when we start to sort of really discover that how energetic we are and how connected we are. My theory is I was just picking up for whatever reason on her energy. And I've kind of loved realizing that, because then it helps me to sort of tap into other people. And even if I just want to send somebody some good vibes or send somebody some love, I know that that's very real. And I don't know that they always pick up on it, but I send it anyway. And just because I do believe we get into each other's energy fields, and it doesn't matter where we are, how close we are physically. So anyway, that was an interesting part of the journey. So I would say, I would sort of challenge you to take whatever word resonates with you and just own it. I am intuitive. I am an intuitive woman. Whatever word you want to use. But I think that it starts to change how we see ourselves in our mind, that actually I am, and I do have those feelings, and I honor them. And I do really believe that as we start honoring it and owning it, that we'll start seeing more and more of it. Because I think these things are happening all the time. I think we're getting messages. I think we're feeling energy. We just don't hear it because we haven't quite tuned our radio to the right frequency just yet, but we're getting better at it. So then my next suggestion is to trust it. So when you have a thought, and I think we all feel the energy differently. Sometimes I literally hear voices and words in my head. So, and again, easy to dismiss sometimes, but the other times it's a feeling. And for me, it's often in my stomach. So it's a feeling one way or the other. It could be like a warning or I don't know. But so I think it's important to figure out, how do you hear it? Because we all hear it differently, hear it, see it, feel it. And so my challenge to all of us, because these are all good reminders for me, I'm not perfect at any of this. I'm just on the path trying to do my best. And so my next suggestion would be number 2, to trust it. So when you have these thoughts or feelings, not to dismiss them, but actually, begin to even just recognize it and question it. I wonder why I'm thinking that. That's odd. Or I wonder what it means, or that feeling, or just get in the habit of, that must be my intuition. And own it for what it is, instead of like, oh, I don't know why I'm thinking that. I'm thinking those thoughts. Those thoughts, what is the saying? You're not thinking those thoughts are thinking you. Something like that. And so I think that's the next thing. Just stop dismissing them, plain and simple. When you have a thought, just go like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder what my intuition is trying to tell me. And then the third suggestion is to follow it. And I did a challenge for myself at one point. I kind of forgot that I was doing this, but I had made the decision that whatever thought I had, I was going to act on it. If I had the thought that I should go somewhere, do something, call someone, bake something, eat something, it didn't matter. Like, I was just not going to question it. I was just going to act on every single thought that I had, trusting that, again, it was coming to me for some reason. And what's interesting about that is that it's kind of practice to just get in the flow and be in the flow and not be questioning. Just to accept that whatever you're hearing or feeling is true, and it's guiding you to do something that you may not know where it's leading you. So I would kind of challenge you to try that. It's kind of fun, and just see what kind of things come to your mind, and what kind of things you might end up doing. So again, I am excited to share this with you. I can't wait to see what people are doing and sharing. And so I encourage you to add a comment below. Because I think that, like I said, I think the energy's changing. I think that there's more light and energy in the world in general. I think we're picking up on it. I think our intuition is opening up. And so I would be very curious to know what others are feeling. And again, if they have other tips and tricks, how they've learned to sort of just trust themselves. Because I really think that's part of the journey we're on right now, is just to trust. You're smarter than you know, you're more powerful than you know, and just to start trusting that. And it will change how you show up in the world. So again, thank you for watching my video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.